Pro wrestling has always been a go-to for stories throughout entertainment. It's been a plot device for TV comedies, it's been a setting for drama series. Wrestling was even a part of a major plot point in Spider-Man's first appearance in Amazing Fantasy 15.
Don't let him get away! Hey, sorry pal, I'm a wrestler, not a cop.
But I honestly think some of the most creative uses and portrayals of pro wrestling have been in anime. So let's take a look at some wrestling-inspired anime and some anime-inspired wrestling. I think I have to start by mentioning that I'm not an anime fan. I appreciate the art, I think some of what I've seen is very cool visually, but I've just never gotten into it. All I know is what I'd seen advertised on Adult Swim while watching The Oblongs or C-Lab. But the more I looked into this topic, the more I learned and actually found stuff that I really enjoyed. So let's get into it. In the mid-1950s, as Japan rebounded from World War II, one of the main sources of entertainment and national pride was pro wrestling, and its biggest star and pioneer, Rikidozan. Fans flocked to buildings throughout the country to see their hero take on an array of American bad guys. Wrestling became so popular in Japan that people would gather around little TVs in public squares just to watch it. By the early 60s, television had become more prevalent in Japan, and with that came another phenomenon: anime. Shows like Astro Boy, Speed Racer, and Kimba the White Lion became major hits in the country, and eventually found their way to the US with English dubs.
Don't look so frightened. Those two bullies have gone.
Oh, I'm all shook up. Who are you anyway?
My name is Kimba, son of Caesar, the White Lion.
Huh? Caesar?
In 1969, the two would merge when Japan was introduced to the Tiger Mask series. Based on the manga comic series of the same name, the show follows the adventures of Tiger Mask, a reformed heel wrestler who runs afoul of the villainous stable Tiger's Den, a group he used to belong to. The show ran for 105 episodes from 1969 to 1971. Produced by the powerhouse Toei Animation, it utilizes a limited animation style that was popular for television animation at the time. One of the pluses of the main character wearing a mask the majority of the time is that you don't have to animate the mouth.
Bridge. 完全にタイガーの首の力で支えているぜ。
どんなもんだ。タイガーマスクは肉弾メガトン落としなど恐れておらんと新聞に派手に書き立ててくれよ。
あれほどのブリッジならゴリラマンのウルトラ体重にも耐えられるんじゃないかな。どうだろう。
The limited animation also means that the wrestling sequences aren't exactly fluid. They're still fun to see though. Some episodes even included Giant Baba and Antonio Inoki stand-ins. This character actually might be Giant Baba, but IMDb doesn't list Giant Baba as a character. I also want to mention something that surprised me was the level of violence in the show. There's lots of blood and vicious attacks, which I thought was awesome, but it shocked me because I was expecting this to be more geared for kids. I was thinking based on the time period that it aired that the consensus was still cartoons are for kids, and we hadn't changed that view yet. But that just shows my ignorance to anime from the time. Even with the target audience being a little older, the show still produced tons of merchandise, like toys with removable masks, posters, coloring books, and even records. In 1981, Toei Animation brought the show back for Tiger Mask 2. With a new main character donning the mask, our hero battles a new villain, Outer Space Mask. The show featured upgraded animation which allowed for more realistic wrestling action and much cooler character designs. This second incarnation of the series also featured actual wrestlers, like Antonio Inoki, Andre the Giant, and Stan Hansen. Unfortunately, they don't voice the animated versions of themselves. The launch of the second series in 1981 also coincided with the real-life debut of Tiger Mask in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Satoru Sayama would portray the character for 2 years and completely revolutionize the junior heavyweight style, not just in New Japan but around the world. He would hold the WWF and NWA junior heavyweight titles simultaneously, and his matches against Dynamite Kid inspired generations. New Japan would even showcase a feud pulled right from the Tiger Mask universe in 1982, when they introduced Black Tiger. Portrayed by Mark Rocco from World of Sport fame, in true no-holds-barred fashion, Black Tiger jumped from the fictional world to the real world. The two would have some fantastic matches until Sayama left New Japan in 1983. Between the anime and the wrestler and the manga comic, there were tons of toys and other merchandise put out. But Tiger Mask wasn't the only anime to make the leap from page or screen to the ring. In March 1989, the Jushin Liger series from Sunrise Studios would premiere. A 16-year-old boy discovers he's a descendant of a line of warriors bestowed with the power of the Liger.
What's a liger?
It's pretty much my favorite animal. It's like a lion and a tiger mixed. Bred for its skills and magic.
After this discovery, he decides to take charge in combating the invading Dragonites. After some Liger stigmata, he transforms into the biomechanical monster of good known as Jushin Liger. The show has that late 80s anime look, and it's got some great visuals and fight scenes. It reminds me a bit of the Power Rangers or like Robotech maybe? Definitely reminiscent of stuff I've seen covered on Secret Galaxy. While the show wasn't about wrestling, it did inspire New Japan to transform young Keiichi Yamada into the character in April of 1989. Debuting at the first ever wrestling event at the Tokyo Dome, he would go on to have an incredible 30-year career bringing the child-operated robot to life. The series, however, ended in 1990 after one season. I know what you're wondering, what about the suit? Well, the more iconic Liger suit does pop up in the series. It's actually some sort of eagle upgrade to the suit when he shouts Thunder. So there's the name Jushin Thunder Liger. Unclear if Kishin Liger pops up in the series. Obviously, Jushin Liger the wrestler would have tons of merch over the years, but the series did get a line of action figures in 1989. The 1990s and 2000s would see more wrestling-centric anime like Ayani's High Kick in 1998, the story of a high school girl who dreams of being a pro wrestler, but ends up getting involved in kickboxing instead. Still similar to wrestling. And of course, there were various editions of the Kiniko Man series. The manga and anime about a bumbling alien superhero turned wrestler originally aired in the early 80s, but would re-emerge in the early 90s and again in 2002, with the beloved Ultimate Muscle series. In the mid-2010s, wrestling anime would get a little more spicy with the premiere of Wanna Be the Strongest in the World in 2013. Again based on the manga of the same name, the show follows pop idol Sakura as she steps into the ring to avenge her frenemy and groupmate Elena after she's injured in a fight with a wrestler. The series has that typical modern anime style with some truly great detailed wrestling action. There's also some great wrestler designs, even if the outfits aren't exactly practical for professional wrestling in reality. The majority of the episodes that I watched at least take place in the ring and revolve around the matches. Obviously, there's other storylines happening as well, but they all relate back to wrestling.
But you know what, Sakura? I don't want to lose either. And whenever you push against me, I'll push back twice as hard.
That must have done a real number on her legs, but it was a sacrifice she was willing to make to deflect Miyazawa's moonsault press. What determination!
Not much in the way of merchandise for the show, but there were these Victory Spark game cards. I'm very unfamiliar with what that is. In 2016, Tiger Mask would return to television screens once again when Toei premiered Tiger Mask W. This version of the show followed two young wrestlers who declared vengeance on Tiger's Den. The two take separate paths to achieve that goal, with one following the light path and taking on the Tiger Mask mantle, and the other following in the shadows, becoming Tiger the Dark. The show had a modern anime look with some very cool action scenes, and a full-fledged partnership with New Japan that saw the likes of Okada, Tanahashi, and Kenny Omega appearing on the show, in pretty significant roles.
今夜俺たちバレットクラブはお前たち3人とのシックスメンタッグの試合がある。そいつに勝利するために真壁さん、あんたのモチベーションを下げてやろうと思ってな。ガー
さねえ絶対許さねえぞてめえら
The agreement also saw new characters from the anime invade the New Japan ring, with ACH appearing as Tiger the Dark, Juice Robinson becoming Red Death Mask, and Kota Ibushi becoming the titular Tiger Mask W. The character would make several appearances for NJPW until the series ended in July 2017, which was perfect timing for Ibushi to enter the G1. In 2024, Kinnikuman returned to television with a global distribution deal on Netflix, with a third season announced in August of 2025. Today, the line of influence between wrestling and anime is totally blurred. Many anime creators grew up wrestling fans watching heroes like Jushin Thunder Liger and Tiger Mask in real life. And so many wrestlers grew up as and still are anime fans. It's really hard to tell who's inspiring who at this point. Again, I don't consider myself an anime fan, and admittedly, I only watched a small sampling of each show, probably 3 or 5 episodes each. So I'm sure I maybe missed some nuance in the premise or maybe didn't put over one of the shows as strongly as I should have. But overall, I really enjoyed these shows. I love the wrestling of Wanna Be the Strongest in the World, I really liked the story and action of Jushin Liger, and I actually got really interested in Tiger Mask 2, and I might check out the full series. Well, let me know in the comments what's your favorite wrestling anime, and are there any others I should check out? Remember, you can support the channel by subscribing or finding me on social media, either here or here. I'm Scott from WrestleSpective. Watch wrestling, love wrestling, thanks for watching.